Let's just go over the controls real quick. You have your stop and run button, which is integrated. You also have your menu button right here, where you could also scroll through the menu. You have your high beam, low beam, mode, up and down. This is your lap button, and it's also made to pass. It'll flash the high beams when you pull it in, which nobody here in Texas uses that really. Your turn signals, of course. Horn, which is useless. So, the first impression I get when I sit on it is that it is very, very far forward. You're leaned way up, and the seat height is, pretty tall. Now, before we get started, let's just go over the display right quick. Just give you a complete rundown. Okay, so when you first start it up, the display is awesome. I mean, it's something off of a, GP bike or something like that. It looks sort of like an iPhone sitting there. It's super clear, super easy to read. It shows brake pressure, pitch angle. You have your modes down here that you could adjust. You can't really adjust them on the fly. You have to be completely stopped, which kind of sucks. Shows your trip 1 and 2, odometer, fuel average, current fuel. It also has your gear indicator that lets you know whether you're in 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. If you click right over here on this menu button, you could actually scroll through this little menu here. You got your display mode, track or street, your YRC settings. My A mode and my B mode are pretty much the same, aside from my A mode has a little bit less intervention than B mode does, and I have a little story to tell y'all about that, and I'll get to that later. My C mode and my D mode is pretty much like my rain mode. Everything's turned all the way up, power's turned all the way down. And yeah, you could tell a huge difference whenever you have it in D mode and C mode. I mean, having it in D mode is like riding a little Ninja 250, so yeah. Now you have your lap time, which you only use if, you're doing a track day or something like that, or it logs your laps. Logging, I guess that also has to do with track mode. Maintenance, units, kilometer or mile per hour. Wallpaper, you could actually change how you want it to display during night or day, or track mode, night or day. Your shift indicator, you could adjust all this stuff. Your shift indicator settings, when you want it to go off. Your brightness. And your tack settings, when you want it to light up. And your peak rev. And you also have your display setting, where you could adjust, like, your odometer, when you want it to show or with what, and your current fuel, all that sort of stuff. Your brightness, clock, and all reset. We're not going to do that. So it's currently in A mode. We're going to switch it back over to B mode, and let's get started. Okay guys, so new for 2015, let's talk about design. Yeah, a lot of people are complaining about the design of this new bike. It's got those sloth looking headlights and whatnot, but I mean, I didn't like it at first when it first came out, but it's kind of grown on me a bit. And the reason why is because I sat there and I thought about it before I bought the bike, and I was just like, if people didn't change things every now and then, we'd be riding the same old shit every year. So, change is good. The engine is still 998cc crossplane. Another huge change for 2015 is the electronics. Okay, this thing comes automatically out of the box with a MotoGP inspired electronics, and I love them. A lot of people say, electronic intervention is stupid, it's taking away from riding. I find it really fun, It hasn't taken away from my riding at all, to be honest. Most of the time, you really don't even notice that it's there unless you're what the fuck are you doing? Most of the time, you really don't even notice that it's there unless you're actually pushing the bike really hard or unless it's raining. Other than that, I mean, they're pretty seamless. Now, let's talk about slide control. This motorcycle comes with an IMU, inertial measurement unit, with 6-axis gyro that detects pitch, roll, and yaw. Now, when the bike senses that you're in a lean angle, I don't know what degree, but when you're in the lean angle and the wheel sensor starts your rear wheel spinning, you know, moving faster than the front, it'll automatically intervene and kind of kill the motor for a split second and let it grab traction. And you know, it saved me a couple times already. The new traction control, you got 9 different settings, and you do notice the difference in each setting. And wheelie control, guys, is an amazing thing. I mean, you know, yeah, every now and then you don't want it on, you know, you want to fuck around. And this bike would not be rideable without wheelie control. Like I said at the beginning, I was going to tell you a little story. And my bike's A mode and B mode are pretty much the same. The only difference is I have less intervention in A mode. But when I was down in South Texas the other day, I took off thinking that my bike was in B mode when it was really in A mode. So I took off, I got on it, and the front wheel stood straight up. It scared the shit out of me. So yeah, this bike would not be rideable without the electronics. I mean, it would be so hard to keep the front wheel down all the time. It unleashes so much torque at one time that, you know, you just burning up tires like crazy. And that's another thing on this one is tires. Because of the electronics, the tires will wear out a little quicker than you're used to. But I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, if you're buying this bike for a track day or whatever, you're gonna have to go through tires anyways. One of the cool new features in the M model is the electronic suspension. My bike does not have that, but the suspension is a little stiff as soon as you get on it and take off. I mean, like Yamaha said, it is a track bike built for the street. The bike is super stiff, but once I got the suspension dialed in, it's treated me very well. Another electronic new for 2015 is the quick shifter. The quick shifter was a little stiff when I first got the bike, but since it's been broken in and whatnot, it is like butter now. Oh, Yamaha. What happened to our brakes? The brakes on this bike are not as strong as you'd expect them to be. I will be upgrading the brakes on this one to some Brembos with wave rotors. Just the front though. I mean, I can't complain about it too much. Yamaha already gave us a great package, you know. So the brakes really don't mean much to me. I mean, I could change that myself, but yeah, they could have been a slight bit stronger. Handling. The bike handles very, very well. One of the questions a lot of people ask is, how's the power delivery on the new R1? This bike is ferocious. I mean, once you get on it, it's going. You know, you better hold on because it's going to take off. It kind of rumbles a little bit, and once you hit that 7,500 RPM range, it's just going to take off, so hold on. It'll actually light up green to let you know that the power band is kicking in, so once you see that green, yeah, it's going. Another thing a lot of people have asked me about is the recall. Well, like I said in my first video, I bought the bike when the recall first came out, so I wasn't really allowed to leave the dealership with the bike until the recall was fixed. So I went ahead and told them, yeah, you know what, go ahead and fix it. I bought my bike at 12 o'clock noon that day, and they had it out to me by 6 p.m. the next day. So, taking into account the job that was done, the bike was pretty much stripped bare. You know, they had to open up the engine to, you know, take out second gear. And the recall job that was done was the second gear wheel was replaced because under extremely high stress or improper shifting, the gear could possibly break. So that is the job that was done. Since then, I have put, you know, let's see. Since then, I've put 2,793 miles on the bike, and it runs amazing. I check the bike after every ride. I go through everything. And so far, there's no leaks, you know, no signs of wear on the gears. I mean, the bike runs perfect. What more could I ask for? So, future modifications I'll be doing to this bike. I already got my endurance cups on here. Of course, I'll be doing the brake levers, you know, that sort of stuff. A little bling here and there. I'll be getting brake lines, braided brake lines. Rear sets, of course, new grips, most likely Motion Pro with the Motion Pro half-turn throttle kit. Like I said, the Brembo brakes. You know, just a few other nicks and crannies here. I'll be getting a carbon fiber front fender, most likely in matte. I want to try to find this in carbon fiber. And eventually I also want to get the lever guards, the ones that come up right here, whatever. If you're interested in buying a 2015 Yamaha R1, it's a great bike. Just know it's going to be super uncomfortable because, you know, it is a track bike built for the street. But other than that, I love the bike. You know, I have no regrets getting it at all. Super awesome, super fun to ride. And don't worry about the electronics. You know, they could all be shut off if you don't like it. And if you are in the Austin, Texas area and you are interested in buying one of these, head over to Woods Fun Center and go talk to Brian. They're great people over there. They'll work out almost any deal with you. So that is it for today, guys. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and share. And if you want to see more, please subscribe below for more videos every Sunday and occasionally on Thursdays where I do Throwback Thursday. Thanks, guys.